typical family, typical kids running around. Like, is it crazy
Absolutely.
having 2 kids
Yeah.
like anybody else?
Yeah.
Well, tell me what, like.
With the little electronics, it makes it easy because he'll kind of go one way, she can go another, but it just all depends.
They fight nonstop.
They pick on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Or I guess he picks on her, and then it goes back.
Yeah. Do you tell them much about what's going on? Like, what have you told them?
She's clueless.
She doesn't know. She's too young.
She says she'll fall down and say, "Oh, I fell down like Daddy,"
Yeah.
because she sees me crash a lot.
Chase knows. We sat down and we told him after probably a month after the diagnosis, we went and saw a child therapist, got some tips, pointers. When do we tell him? How do we tell him? What do we say? And so he knows Daddy has ALS. And he knows that it's uncurable. He knows that he's never going to be better tomorrow than he is today. But he doesn't know the nitty gritty. He doesn't know, what's could possibly come.
Mm-hmm.
But Summer just dances around in her underwear. She's a blessing. She can make us all laugh after a bad day. Like, she has no clue.
That's awesome. So, when was the diagnosis?
April 14th. April 14th.
Of this year?
2016.
So when did you notice like a change, like something was going on before you?
About July of last year, I noticed odd things in my legs intermittently late at night. For some reason, it was always at night, and then I guess they kept coming on a little stronger, and then I started getting a lot of the fasciculations in my arms, and we were like, something's weird. And then
is that the shaking in the
yeah, the twitching, all the muscles jumping, and then it just kept getting a little more here and there. And I guess at about September, after we bought the ski boat, we were out wakeboarding at the lake house, and things just weren't the same. I just, like, my left arm was always tight, and I'm like, I can't reach over here. So it was weird.
He couldn't land his jumps.
Like, my legs would just give out every time we landed, or every time I landed, and just, I knew something wasn't right.
I told him.
I'm like, I know I'm getting a little old, but not that bad. So we finally went to the doctor, and then just, what was it? We did the.
It was October 1st that we went to a neurosurgeon because they said that he might have had some mild stenosis in his back. The MRI kind of showed some mild stenosis. They said maybe there's a pinched nerve. And on October 1st, we went to the neurosurgeon, and he looked at the results, and he said, no, this is nothing surgical. This is nothing that I can look at. He said, you need to go to a neurologist and have things like MS and ALS ruled out. So that was the first time we heard ALS, and I'm like, what is that? What is that? So I said, of course, we get in the car and I research it, and thought, there's no way. There's no way. I told him, stay off the internet. Don't even go look it up. Don't do it.
It's hard not to,
It is.
It's because it's there. It's like so
Yeah.
easy. So then, has it been like a quick progression to you?
To me, yeah. I mean, from being able to do anything I wanted to pretty much do in September to barely being able to even walk now, it's a real big change.
In his hands.
And the biggest frustration for you?
Walking. Because, I mean, I can get around, I can still move. The frustration is the walking. The legs are just, the spasticity in my legs are just so stiff. The faster I try to do something, the harder my legs just lock up. It just gets real bad. And that's what causes me to fall a lot, is I'll be trying to do something, I feel like I'm falling, and then I'll go to try to catch myself, then I just lock up and just crash.
Yeah, I can see where that would be.
Yeah.
Just frustrating.
It's one of the big fears of it, because you fall and get hurt.
They say a lot of people die with ALS from a fall, from a head trauma, from falling and hitting your head,
Yeah.
because with ALS, he doesn't have any strength in his muscles and his arms or his hands. So when he falls, a normal person can put their arms out and catch themselves, and he can't catch himself. It's just a immediate to the ground. There's no stopping it. There's no catching, preparing anything for the fall.
Well, it was interesting. You were listening to us talk to your son, and he was talking about some of the things that he liked to do, and one of the things was, like watch football, and he'd go to football games, you know, and he kept mentioning how he likes doing things with you. Listening to something like that, I don't know, does that...
Kills me.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know, I'm trying to make myself understand what that's like as a parent with a child. I guess, what are some of your thoughts? Some of the, just when you're interacting with your kids, you know, as parents, we think, wow, you know, I remember when I was this young, or like some of the thoughts that go through your mind when you're hanging out with your son and your daughter.
Just, at least I'm still here to, you know, at least see them do what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard because I never sat down when I came home. I mean, I didn't get to bed till midnight. I was always doing something, playing with a toy, always doing something, cars, RC cars, boats, you know, playing with something, golf cart, always something. And never stop. And, you know, I've watched more TV in the last probably 3 months than I have in my whole life. Never sat down and watched TV hardly, except for the football games with him and stuff. But it's tricky. It's tricky. It's hard watching everybody do what you used to do and not being able to do it anymore.
Sitting on the sidelines.
So let's talk about all of the help that comes, especially with the Ice Bucket Challenge. Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
All toward research.
Amazing.
And I know that we've had at least 2 major breakthroughs that I know of that, you know, just researching.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that people have donated by doing something fun, that's gotta be so, how is that exciting? Just rejuvenating, I don't know.
To me, and the way it is now, it's awesome to know. Because you don't really understand it. It was just a trend, you know, 2 years ago when everybody did it. And you didn't really understand what you're doing, just other than the fact you got nominated and did it. So, understanding where it's all coming from, it's a blessing.
We did it. We did it 2 years ago. We donated, and I looked it up to see what it was, but it's hard to understand. You can't wrap your head around it until you're affected by it. Until you live with somebody or know somebody who's gone through it, it's a really hard disease to understand.
And when you did the challenge in 2014, there was, like, it wasn't part of your life.
No,
You just,
not at all. We had no clue. Yeah, it's one of those things you think, oh, that'll never be me, you know?
So I'm curious, and this may be a dumb question, but I'm curious, knowing now what you knew then, were you happy about donating? Was it more of a
Absolutely.
conscious thing when you were donating at the time? Well, like, do you wish you had donated more? I mean, like, looking back on when you did the Ice Bucket Challenge, was there anything you would have done differently, or are you happy that you did it?
So happy we did it. So happy we donated. And I just hope that the trend fires off again this year. You know, it became viral in 2014. Now it might take a jump start, but they say that there's so much. If there's ever a time to have ALS, it's 2016, because there's so much in the pipelines, in the trials, things that are breakthroughs that are happening, things that are coming our way, and it's all because of this Ice Bucket Challenge. It's all because of the funds raised. But that was in 2014, so it took 2 years really for these funds to make a difference, you know, but now it's just got to keep going. It's got to just stay strong, you know.
Yeah. And so for somebody who's like, oh yeah, I remember the Ice Bucket Challenge, would you encourage them to do it? What do you say to those people who are watching? What do you say?
Please.
Please do. Because, I mean, you never know. I mean, it's like I would have never thought I'd be in these shoes.
Yeah.
Never in a million years.
You don't know. You just don't know. And for everything that's out there that has come that way, there's still so much more that needs to be done. I mean, things are in trials, and God, it takes so much to run a trial. It is expensive. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. And we're in a trial right now, and it's a phase 1. It's phase 1. It's still got to go to a phase 2 and a phase 3. You know, the FDA approvals are just 10 years. You're looking at 10 years. So to get things go through faster, the funding has to be there. It's all about the funding. It's crazy.
Perfect. We're done.
Yeah? Okay.
Just hang out there for a little bit.
Okay.
Did I tell you? I told you.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
It's fun. not a big monster.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said we can't get up.
No, yeah, just keep
Well,
talking for a couple minutes.
Was your nervousness, and he's gonna still take pictures of us,
Okay.
you know, but was your nervousness more about the interview itself, or was it just talking about this?
I didn't know then what you were gonna ask, and I was scared. To try and prepare myself for answers. That's
Is it harder to is it hard to talk about? Like, just the whole topic? Like, do you talk about it a lot with your extended family, or?
Oh, it's
no?
like all we talk about right now.
yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, they're always asking, are you any better, you know, for hopes, you know, yeah, any better today?
There's
'Cause
so
in
many.
in the very beginning, I'd go through days where, like, a week later, you know, I'd be like, wow, I could walk down these stairs today. And then next thing you know, I'm holding on to something to go back down them again.
Yeah.
Now, it's not even a question. There's no going up or down them, you know, without major help. But,
We're fortunate too. We have such a huge support group. We have so many people
That's great.
around us and just wanting to help. And Chad's been contacted by high school friends, lifelong friends, people he hasn't seen in 10 years. We have this GoFundMe, and people are just, I can't believe the generosity.
unreal.
It's unreal. It's
People
unreal.
coming over to help. My brother's done a million things for me. I mean,
He's got friends
all
coming
the
over and
time.
pumping out the septic tank. I mean, nobody wants to get in anybody's poop hole, right?
no one wants to get in there and fix the pump.
No.
They're coming over and doing it.
And they're doing
Yeah.
it. They're doing it. It's really cool. People are, yeah.
Everybody we know has stepped up.
That means they love you.
Yep,
Yeah.
it does.
I mean, you've had an impact on people's lives. That's awesome.
And I think it's good to see too for him. I think it makes him feel good. You know.
Shoot.
It's hard. I never really asked for help unless I couldn't do it by myself. So, you know, it's it's different. You know, I've done a lot of falling, trying to do things I shouldn't do, but at the same time, you know, it's hard to give it up. It's
He
hard.
pushes himself probably more than anybody else I know that has this. I mean, he said to me, he said most people would be couchbound right now, but he is still out there. He's going to our company picnic on Sunday. He's going to the lake house, and he can't have the fun that he used to have at the lake house. He can't do the things he used to. But if
I
two of
kinda-
us get him in the boat, he can drive the boat. Once he's in the driver's seat, he can drive it.
Mhm.
He'll spend all day long circling that lake, pulling the kids on the tubes.
That's
You know,
awesome.
it is.
Yeah,
It's
getting
awesome.
in the boat and out of the boat's funny. They just kind of throw me in, and when I go to get out, I just say, all right, clear out. And I just fall over the edge and hit the water.
A lot of people would have given up by now, though. They would have, and he pushes himself really hard. So that's cool. It's an inspiration to watch.
And so I understand I'm making sure I understand the time frame. It was July when you noticed of last year something.
Yeah, like some reason it was always late at night. Like, you know, once it was dark, every blue moon, my legs would get stiff and I'd walk like a robot.
He couldn't
And
put the cap
then-
back on the toothpaste.
Well, that was one of the first things I noticed. I went
Fine
to go
motor
brush
skills.
my teeth one morning, and it's just like I had no pressure to unscrew the cap. And I'm like, that's not right. But then it would go away by noon. It'd be perfectly fine. I'm at work, you know, everything's normal. And then late at night, it started kind of fading away again. Well, then early in the morning, it'd be the same. Well, of course, I just switch hands and use my right. A typical guy. I don't go to the doctor for months, and then
Or just don't brush his teeth.
finally I said something's not right. You know, we're sitting there as I'm in there on the computer. My wife's like, "Man, all your muscles are just jumping and going crazy." I mean, I'm like, they've been doing it for a while. They're not stopping. You know, and then it's just one thing after another, and finally we're like, okay, we got to do something.
Do you mind us taking a look
Yeah.
at your arm now? I don't know if Travis, I don't know if you can see that.
I want to get out of the shadow. Can you see it all through here?
And so where do you feel that? Is it just in that arm?
Oh, it goes
It
all the
starts
way up
here.
through here, and then
Both
back
sides.
down this side over here.
It Occasionally his thighs will twitch.
Yeah, like in the mornings,
Not
I
bad,
can
though.
feel it in my thighs and in my calves, and then just all depends.
They say that that's a sign of the neurons. So, you know, the upper neurons and the lower neurons. With ALS, it starts in the brain, and the upper motor neurons are what goes from the brain to your muscle or your spinal cord. The lower motor neurons are what goes from your spinal cord out to your muscles. So the neurons are screaming, "Help me, help me." They're firing warning symbols because they're dying. Then that's what is wasting the muscles away. That's ultimately.
Like if I put my foot down, it'll just like if I'm sitting on that chair and I put my foot down in the morning after putting my shoes on, my foot just starts bouncing, or my whole leg just starts bouncing, and I can't stop it unless I physically just pick it up.
They say that ultimately this twitching is you don't really want it to go away, because when it does, it means the muscle's done. You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's like my hands, they're like super stiff. You can't open them. It's like they don't, you know, it's as fast as they move.
You
Can't
live
really
somewhere.
write with it. I can't pick up, you know, the 3-year-old anymore.
Crazy.
It all just slowly came on, because I noticed when I'd pick her up from daycare, I'm like, she's not getting that much heavier, but she's getting harder to put in the car seat. I'm like,
She's a big girl.
you
I don't
know,
know.
the doctor would be like, well, you know, she's 35 pounds. I'm like, I could throw her over my head, you know, 6 months ago, but not now.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Good, Joy.
Okay. I